And now, live in studio, cutting through your typical media nonsense and offering you a rational and unbiased perspective on current events and life in Tampa Bay. He's a successful entrepreneur, published author, top listing agent, a real estate and finance expert that goes to bat for you every day as a consumer advocate. Your host and the consumer quarterback, Brandon Rhymes.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Real Estate Quarterback Show. This is not Brandon Rhymes, as you might know by now from the voice. It is Ian Beckles filling in for Mr. Rhymes. I'm not sure exactly what he's got going on, but I'm sure it's very important. The explanation of Mr. Rhymes is not me. I'm not into real estate, although I guess I am an entrepreneur. I don't even know what I do anymore. I'm just trying to make money, and that's about it. But Brandon asks me quite often to sit in for him, and it's quite the pleasure because I learn a little bit about business as I come in here as well, and it's all about knowledge. So Brandon always brings in a couple very knowledgeable guests, and he's done the same thing for me today. And we brought in, and once again, I hope I don't butcher these names. I've butchered them before. This young man I've seen before, so I believe it's Scott Maurer.
That is correct. Good job.
And it's not spelt thusly.
No, it is not.
Now, how often do you have to spell it?
Every so often, people hear the baseball player Joe Maurer,
which helps probably.
Which helps,
yes.
Except for I have an extra R
correct.
In between, so it throws it off. I hear Maurer, but it is Maurer.
At least Maurer's a good baseball player.
He is.
He's a pretty darn good baseball player.
And I'm not related, unfortunately. I get asked that a lot.
Yeah, that is unfortunate. He's from Advanta IRA. We'll get into that a little bit as well. Now, this lovely young lady, I'm looking at her name, and her parents did her wrong because I know she has to spell this on the regular often. So I'm going to say Jannete Sawdon.
That's correct.
Well, I mean,
that's a first. Let me tell you that. I get Jannete.
Yeah.
I get all sorts of my first name. Mm-hmm. And then Sawdon, that's actually my married name.
Okay.
And I get Sawdon first.
Yeah, I can see, like,
you got it.
Your first name, I can see that your parents were trying to be
unique,
ironically different. But I could just see it was still Jannete. But you have to spell it every time.
Mm-hmm.
Jannete. Every time.
Every time.
Every bit of that is off.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. As long as I know you know this because you've lived with yourself your whole life. Exactly. And she's from, once again, not going to be easy.
Febre.
Febre Frameworks. French? French how?
Not sure.
Okay.
I mean, I'm the business manager of Febre Frameworks.
Okay.
The two brothers. I'm assuming it's probably like a great-grandfather that came French, but I know both of their parents are Cuban.
Okay, very, very nice. And Febre Frameworks does
real estate photography,
videography too as well, right?
Videography, yep. Marketing, headshots, you name it, we do it.
I just looked at your work, and you guys do fantastic work, by the way. Fantastic. And I like to say that I have a pretty good eye for videography and photography and that kind of stuff. I've had a magazine for a couple of years, and so I have a good look, and you guys have some good people working for you. Very good stuff. Now, Scott, now we're talking about IRAs, and you know you're in a good business because nobody knows anything about IRAs, so they always need to learn.
Correct.
Okay, so I'm learning as I go as well. All right, so as a layman, I'm a layman. I really don't know the answer to these questions. Okay, I really don't. What's the difference between an IRA and a 401k? To me, they're the same thing.
That's a good question because a lot of people use those terms interchangeably, and in some respects, they are very similar, and they can actually be the same account depending on the situation. But an IRA is an individual retirement account. So that's an individual on their own. They're working. They can just contribute money out of their own pocket into an IRA account. Now, 401k, and there's some other plans like 403bs and 457s that are very similar. Those are employer-sponsored plans. So if you work for a company that you contribute a portion of your salary each year, and the company then does some type of profit-sharing match on top of that, that's where a 401k comes in. Now, when you leave an employer, though, you're no longer working for that company, you can take a 401k and just roll it into a regular IRA, a traditional IRA, and then open up your different investment possibilities. So they're used interchangeably. It is important in our industry to know which is which when we're dealing with a new client. But eventually they can be combined into the same account.
Like, I think a bunch of you IRA guys get together in a big room and you just say, we're going to make it so difficult that nobody understands anything.
Well, what happened is since those rules were created by Congress, it was actually the our representatives.
Well, that makes sense. If Congress did it, well, then it completely you know what I mean? It completely makes sense. Anything that Congress, concocts, it makes sense.
Yeah, just like naming two streets the same thing, but one is drive and the other one is street.
Yeah. And especially in Tampa, there's streets that end here, start back over here. Yep. Don't get me into this whole thing, And with the laws you're talking about, sometimes I read a law and I go, they literally wrote this so that it doesn't make sense. I feel
to
trick you. Like even we've been talking about this stand your ground thing forever. Okay, is that really a law if you think about it? I mean, so if you're in fear of your life, you could shoot somebody. That's a law. So
on your property.
How is somebody? No, it's not true.
Not anymore.
That's not true. No, absolutely not. George Zimmerman wasn't on his property. The guy in Clearwater was at a gas station. Absolutely not. So how am I to know that you're in fear for your life? How am I to know that? How is a judge supposed to know that?
I don't know. And that same guy with the
Clearwater
movie,
guy.
the movie theater shooting
movie theater guy
up in Pasco. So it's
how are you in fear for your life if the other person doesn't have a gun?
I think that's why the law, there's so much controversy, because like you said, how are you supposed to stand in somebody else's shoes and know what they're thinking and how they're feeling?
So what if I walk? I'm a pretty imposing guy. I'm sitting behind this, but when I get up, I'm imposing. Trust me. All right. So I'm pretty imposing. If I walk up on you, say I walk into an elevator, and an old lady is in fear for her life, can she shoot me? That's what the law says.
Yeah, I mean it's entirely subjective, and that's the problem. There's not much objective standard to look at it.
No, man. I mean, but I want you guys to be a little clearer, because when I hear people talking 401k and IRA, everything just kind of goes down. I said, I believe you.
Yeah. Well, what we do is, since we allow people to invest in real estate and all kinds of alternative assets, we just say if you have an IRA or a 401k, that's not the important part. It's if you have one of those types of accounts, we can help you out.
Okay.
And we figure out those little details for you.
Perfect. All right. Now, Jannete, Febre Frameworks. Once again, looked into your stuff. Fantastic stuff. Who are your clients? Are you going after realtors, or are you going after people that are selling their house? Which one?
Both.
Or both?
Both. More than likely, the people selling their homes have contracted a realtor.
Correct.
So our main focus is realtors, because they're the ones that's going to give us that access to those homes going up on the market. Yes. But we do welcome any for sale by owners, and we do welcome anyone that just wants updated pictures for their home. It doesn't matter. It doesn't mean you're going to list them or anything. But we get Airbnbs, we get HomeAways as well. But yes, our main clients are realtors.
Now, I sold my house a while ago, probably 3 years ago. I lived in Culberth House for like 20 years. I finally sold my house, and I wasn't selling for a while. And then the realtor that I was with, it wasn't Brandon at the time, but the realtor we were with, we did a video, kind of a goofy video, and it went viral. It was getting an unbelievable amount of hits, and then all of a sudden I sold the house.
Yeah.
So, videography and photography are all very, very important things, actually, to everything in the world now. Even food and stuff, everything video.
Which we do. We do food photography.
Oh, really?
Headshots. Yeah. I mean, we want to eventually take over all forms of photography. Okay. That's our goal, for forever. So, we're slowly getting into little niches. But, our large niche is real estate photography. So you have a bunch of photographers obviously working for you. We do. Some photographers are stronger than, some are stronger than real estate, some are stronger in food photography. Is that how it works? So all of our photographers are real estate photographers. Okay. They've been trained in drone, to fly a drone, and they have their license. And obviously they've been trained with the camera. Now, only certain photographers have been trained to do videography. And others have also been trained to do the Matterport, which is a 3D virtual tour of your home. Sure. And then we have taken all of their, their backgrounds, all of their portfolio, and we kind of choose which photographer is stronger in which aspect to do the wedding photography, to do the food photography, the headshots, and whatnot.
Wow. I mean, it's photography has definitely come a long way. Like I said, way back I owned a magazine, so I was exposed to photography, and like everything else in the world, there's people that say they're great photographers, and then there's great photographers.
Right.
There's two different things.
Yeah, and we're the great photographers.
Okay, I believe because I've seen great photography.
We're professional.
There's a difference, because I got some news for you. Everybody's a photographer. I'm a photographer. I take pictures every day, all day, and on this phone. Every day. So everybody's really a photographer.
Right.
Like, I've literally been on a photo shoot with a professional photographer, and as he was taking his shots, I was going around taking my shots on my phone, and at the end, my pictures were better. So, I mean, just saying you're a photographer is one thing, but to be professional is a big deal. Obviously,
right. And we strive. We strive to be as professional as we can. We try to help out all the realtors and the selling clients.
Sure.
We try to help them out as much as we can by, providing them with checklists, giving them all their options for, the home. And drone photography is top notch right now. Especially in Tampa, you can get all the views with the drone photography.
Yeah, and everybody and their mother has a drone now, pretty much.
Yeah, but do they have an FAA license?
Probably not.
No.
They just have a drone because they want to be cool.
Yeah.
They think having a drone is cool. You know what I mean?
Yeah. But we can fly at 400 feet.
400 feet.
400 feet. Okay. And if you're on top of a skyscraper, 400 feet from there.
400 feet from the top of a skyscraper.
And you need a license for that, like
you need a license.
Over a certain height. Okay.
Yeah, you need to get approved by the FAA.
Pretty impressive. That's a long way up there.
Yeah.
Because a plane could hit that thing or something. I understand. All right, we're not going to go anywhere here. We have Scott and Jannete. We're talking IRAs, and we're talking photography and videography and a whole lot of things. We have a lot to talk about. Don't go anywhere. Ian Beckles filling in for Brandon Rhymes, and we'll be back. The Real Estate Quarterback Show.
Hey, I'm Ken Shamrock, and you're here with Consumer Quarterback Show. And I say, Brandon Rhymes, knock out your competition.
To get in touch with Brandon, call 813-670-7372. Online at consumerqb.com.
Hi, I'm Jerry from Hot Locks Hair Salon. We are conveniently located at 13414 US Highway 19 in Hudson. I've been a local hairstylist in our community for the last 34 years, 7 of which I was an educator. Our passion is the artistry of hair, and Hot Locks is here to help you achieve your perfect image. You can call us at 727-514-9978.
You're listening to the Consumer Quarterback, Brandon Rhymes, cutting through your typical media nonsense and offering you a rational and unbiased perspective on current events and life in Tampa Bay. Online at consumerqb.com.
All right, welcome back. For those of you that don't know my voice, this is Ian Beckles. I have been on the airways for quite a while here in the Bay Area, whether talking about sports on 620 WDAE for many years. Right now I'm presently on 102.5 The Bone. Every morning with Slater, I have a Saturday show, Flavor of Tampa Bay with Ray Lampe. We talk a lot of food. And then my show, Ian Beckles' show, is on Sunday, and we be talking about football and stuff like that. So, and God bless the Bucks for playing so well on Sunday. It was good to see.
It was glorious.
It was fun to watch, right?
Oh my gosh!
Yeah.
For the first time, I wasn't disappointed in the fourth quarter.
It's been a while, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it didn't even look real to me.
Yeah, and do you know why? I gotta say it.
Oh, please.
I gotta say.
Well, let me know.
Fitzpatrick.
Well, I'm not gonna say it's not true. I mean, I watched the dude play, and he was
fantastic.
Balls out. I mean, he was the best player on the football field.
Agreed.
So, I mean, we have a funny dilemma, because after the three game suspension happens with Jameis Winston, the front office of the Buccaneers have to make a decision, okay? Because if Fitzpatrick plays that way for 3 games, the decision is made.
I'm Team Fitzpatrick, and I've always been.
And that's fine, and that's fine. But as an organization, you have to make some business decisions as well.
Yeah.
This is the problem.
This is the end of his contract.
But this is the problem. If you go with Ryan Fitzpatrick and you don't make the playoffs, you're fired. They're going to say, well, you put Ryan Fitzpatrick in as our quarterback, who couldn't start for the Jets, who started a rookie yesterday, and you picked a guy, the first person in the whole world, and it failed. You're fired. That's it. Yeah. So they're married to Jameis Winston. It's an impossible decision. And Fitzpatrick looks better than Jameis in the system. So now if you take out Fitzpatrick and put Jameis in and he doesn't look good, then everybody around is going, whoa, wait a minute. It doesn't look right. Yeah. Okay, so.
Yeah. And head coaches don't get the chance to make many first-round picks at quarterback.
First pick overall.
You get one. He doesn't work out.
Once. Nobody gets to do it twice. You get the first pick in the draft once. To be the first pick in the draft, you have to have the worst record in the league. So if you have the first pick in the draft 3 years later, you can't have it again. You'll be fired, that's for sure. So I've been in those locker rooms before, and I've seen situations where, half the locker room was one way and half the locker room was the other way, and it can get ugly. So you can say it's a good problem to have, but not always. Not always.
It was nice, though, to see a receiver open down the sideline, going deep, and have him actually get hit in stride and throw a touchdown.
Yeah, it just seemed like right. It seemed like the way it should have been the whole time. But it definitely was very enjoyable to watch. So I'm on the 102.5 The Bone. I also very active in social media. You can follow me at Ian Beckles. That's IANBECKLES. And basically, I represent a few products in the area, and I like to eat a lot of food and just food pictures. That's it. It's not rocket science, you know what I mean? So are you guys involved with social media at all?
We are at Vanna IRA on Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn. We're there.
Perfect. Yep. And yourself?
Of course.
Of course.
Yeah, I mean, is that even a question?
Well, you know what? Yes, it is a question, because as somebody who is marketing is really what I do. Okay, I'm in the radio, I do social media.
Right.
We're into photography, we're into videography, a lot of different things. Yes, it is a problem, because I'll say, hey, are you doing social media? Well, that's not really our thing. I hear that a lot.
Well, they're making a mistake.
Yes, they are. They're 100% unequivocally making a mistake. Like I've talked to somebody who, my girl Amber, beautiful young girl. She owns a kind of a high-end consignment shop on Beta Bay. And I said, are you not doing social media? It doesn't really work for me. And I said, what do you mean it doesn't work for you? Well, it makes everybody think that my stuff is cheap. And I go, then tell them it's expensive. And then show them that it's expensive. Like Gucci's is not cheap. Show them you got Gucci. And she's old school, and she just didn't want to embrace it. It's free advertising.
Yep.
It's absolutely
especially
free.
If you're using the marketplace, especially for her consignment store.
Absolutely.
I mean, the marketplace goes at least 25 miles away from your actual location, so you're going to be reaching a higher, broader,
way higher.
Yeah. Clientele.
And the way it works now is just you find yourself going into all these little links, and like for myself, it's all about personal. I don't know how you would really sell IRAs on social media. That's not an easy thing to do.
No, we use social media mainly for just awareness of our upcoming seminars, webinars. We can't sell our service on social media. It's more of an awareness type situation. But any business has to be on social media. If you're not, it's one of those. If someone's looking to work with you, if you're not on social media, I think that right there questions the legitimacy of your business this day and age.
I said the same thing to a good friend of mine, John Ramos. He owns Ramos Granite, and he's a client of mine, so I look him up on social media, and I was like, you guys haven't posted anything in 6 months. And he goes, well, it's not. I go, I understand your business is going well, but when somebody hears Ramos Granite, the first thing they're going to do is go check you out on social media to follow you. And if you're irrelevant on social media, right away they're going to say, maybe they're not a credible business, even though you are. And somebody like Brandon Rhymes, who's selling houses, it's not about selling a house through social media. That's literally impossible to do. It's just legitimizing him as a business person, and that's it. Now, somebody like yourself, you guys are creating the videos and creating the pictures, and are you guys blasting them out to the masses, or are you giving them to the sellers to do?
No, we're blowing them out.
You're blowing them out to people.
We put them on our Facebook page. We share them because there's 3 of us. There's the 2 business owners and myself. All 3 of us share each other. We tag each other in whatever we're posting.
Smart.
And we don't use the same post every time either. We're not like sharing, so we post one thing, but like we share like maybe post that we did yesterday. So it's like, so we have multiple things going up on everyone's feed.
Now, you guys, I can tell you guys take it serious because some people take social media seriously. I'm in touch with a lot of the big CEOs and business owners, and I can tell you who does it serious in this area. I don't know if anybody does it more serious than the Seminole Hard Rock Casino. Nobody. I mean, that's because they have all the money. Like all of it. They have every last bit of it. Like if you tag Seminole Hard Rock Casino, within a minute, there'll be 50 people hit you up from the Seminole Hard Rock. That's what they do, okay? They're on top of everything. If you spell something wrong, they'll let you know you spelled something wrong, and they're on top of it. Suzanne Perry from DATS does a wonderful job. They stay, and when I mean a wonderful job, social media is becoming an art to where Suzanne has somebody who's a writer, wrote novels, is really eloquent with words, who writes their posts to make sure the wording is right. That's getting to a point where that's other level style right there.
So we use a professional writer for some of our blog articles and for to follow our social media. That's outside of my expertise. So.
That's a big deal, though. I mean, to hire somebody just to write social media posts that's not even your social media person. That's totally different.
No, she wears both hats.
Okay. Okay. Because Suzanne has a social media person, then the writer, then this person, then that person, and there's a lot of stuff going on, definitely. So let's get back to the IRAs here real quick. Once again, my knowledge on IRAs is almost nil. Rollover IRAs is something that I saw.
Okay.
Tell me something about rollover IRAs.
That leads back to what we talked about a few minutes ago. A rollover IRA is an IRA account where you've taken money from an old 401k or an old pension fund and rolled it into it's a traditional IRA for IRS perspective. They call it a rollover IRA just to indicate that money originated with that employer-sponsored 401k plan.
Very nice.
So, yep.
And young lady, Jannete, you're talking about drones. How long have you been in the business?
For about 2 years.
So you didn't really see drones come in. Drones have been around for a little bit now.
Yes, they have been.
But drones have done amazing things with video and photography. Like it's taken it to another level.
And they've upgraded their system throughout the years. And noticed that, especially with the camera. The camera right now isn't as high as resolution as a camera is, but I think they're stepping it up definitely as the business grows.
And you talked about a 3D virtual tour. I saw that on your site as well. Explain everybody what that is.
So that is a large camera. It's a big square box with 3 eyes. Okay. It sits on a tripod, and what you do is you set it in a room, and it spins 360. It looks for the ending point of each wall. Okay. And then it literally creates a 3D floor plan, that you can walk through with VR glasses if you'd like, or you can do it on your computer. It's like, the best way for me to describe it, it's like Google Street Map.
Yeah,
when you put that little man on the street, and you can see all the houses. It's like that, but inside of a home.
I just don't see how it's done, though. Like, my mind is blown a little bit. How it's done? I mean, is it the video taken from top? Because you can see, like, say you walk in the door, you can walk in the door and you can see every room and the dimensions of all the rooms.
Right.
Have you ever seen them do this? Have you seen them create it?
Oh yeah, certainly. The camera is literally like a regular camera. You just, it's like a clicking camera on a tripod, and it just takes a video of the room, 360, and it pieces it together. It's very smart.
I guess like a panoramic thing you have on your phone. I guess not quite, but probably
somewhat.
A little bit more complex than that.
Somewhat. Have you seen those on social media? Have you seen the 360 videos that they've done?
Sure, yes.
It's
similar
using
to
that technology.
Okay.
But more of like a dollhouse type view.
Dollhouse?
That's what you call it, dollhouse. That's when you like walk in through the home and it's
kind
like
of
a
dollhouse.
Barbie's dollhouse.
Oh,
Barbie's dream
I just
house,
passed the dollhouse right on the West Shore. I thought that's what you're talking about. Oh, you're talking about the dream house. Oh, I'm a 50-year-old man. I don't play with Barbies, but the other dollhouse, it's been a long time since I've been there, but I'm definitely not against it. That's for sure. All right, we're talking IRAs and we're talking videographies and real estate photographies and the whole 9 yards. So don't go anywhere. Ian Beckles filling in for Brandon Rhymes, and we'll be right back.
Hey everybody, I'm Forbes Riley, celebrity TV fitness host and creator of The Spin Gym. I'm here today with Brandon Rhymes, and you're listening to the Consumer Quarterback Show. Great ways to get happy, healthy, and wealthy.
To get in touch with Brandon, call 813-670-7372. Online at consumerqb.com.
Hi, I'm Jerry from Hot Locks Hair Salon. We are conveniently located at 13414 US Highway 19 in Hudson. I've been a local hairstylist in our community for the last 34 years, 7 of which I was an educator. Our passion is the artistry of hair, and Hot Locks is here to help you achieve your perfect image. You can call us at 727-514-9978.
Hi, my name is Joe Stalteri. I'm one of the owners of Complete Care Systems. At Complete Care Systems, we do carpet cleaning, upholstery cleaning, tile and grout cleaning, tile and grout sealing, wood floor and laminate floor deep cleaning, as well as stripping and waxing of linoleum and vinyl floors, and a whole lot more. We also run daily deals and special, which you can find at CompleteCareSystems.com, or simply call Tricia up at 727-364-5158, and she'll answer all your questions and give you over the phone free estimates. Or she'll send me out to your home or office to give you an on-site free estimate. At Complete Care Systems, we don't cut corners, we clean them.
listening to The Consumer Quarterback, Brandon Rhymes, online at consumerqb.com. Brandon is Tampa Bay's #1 consumer advocate for real estate and financial advice. Call Brandon today at 813-670-7372.
All right, welcome back. Ian Beckles filling in for Brandon Rhymes. He'll be back with you very, very soon. We are taping this on 9/11, and obviously it's a very relevant date. I'm scared to ask you what you were doing because you look very young. And I'm not going to ask you how old you were, but do you remember what you were doing when 9/11 happened?
I was in 3rd grade in the classroom.
Okay. Okay, I'm doing the math in my head, 3rd grade. Okay, you were right about what age? About
3rd, 4th grade, I believe.
Okay.
26. But.
So while you were in the classroom in 3rd grade, did they teachers tell you what was going on? What happened in school?
They did not, but I have horrible memory. But I do remember the TV being on.
Oh, the TV was on the whole time, so the teachers were watching it.
We were watching in the classroom, and it was just very still.
Sure. And as a 3rd graders, you must not even really understand what's going on because that was one of the more surreal things. Those buildings falling, like, out of my whole life, one of the more surreal things I've ever seen. Yeah. I mean, and that's something you're definitely never going to forget.
Never.
Like, I can remember that day. Like it's 17 years. It seems like it's 3 years, maybe. Like, it's that vivid. You remember where you were?
Yep. I was working in recreation for the city of Clearwater at the time. And can remember I was listening to the radio that morning and just hearing, I don't remember who I was listening to, but they kept updating, oh, the plane crashed. And then now it's another one. Now it's terrorism. And I don't know if you remember, Ian, there was a lot of misinformation. I remember, there's a report, there's been a bomb at the Capitol building, and there was so many different things going on. And then to see them, it seems weird now to think, oh yeah, of course the buildings fell. But that day, it was shocking.
Sure it was.
That they actually came down.
And the funny part with myself, I was golfing in New Tampa. And that's when I was golfing on a regular basis 17 years ago. And I got to the clubhouse, and it was early 9 o'clock, and I said, well, what is that? The lady says, oh, some plane ran into a building in New York. And I go, all right. And that was it. And then I went golfing. So golfing takes 4.5 hours. So 17 years ago, social media wasn't what it is now. Nobody really was on phones like they are now. Like now, my phone would blow up. For 4.5 hours, I didn't really know anything. Nobody's thinking, let's text somebody and tell them what's going on because they figure everybody's watching it. So for 4.5 hours, I was oblivious. So we got to the clubhouse, we finished, we got into the car, we went to Hooters, and we sat down to eat lunch. And I'm looking up at the TV, and I'm looking at the towers, and this is after they fell. So I go, what's happening? And somebody goes, they attacked their buildings, and I go, the buildings fell? And the lady goes, yes. And then I just kind of sat there for a minute. Then right away I thought to myself, boy, a lot of people had to have died. Right, like you guys were watching it live, okay? So as soon as it happened, you guys right away, that must have been your thought because you saw people running and stuff. It didn't really hit me at first, but I was thinking, and what did the number end up being? Was it 3,000?
Yeah, it was less than 4,000. Still a lot of people, but they were at the time they were saying 50,000 people plus working.
Oh, were they saying?
Buildings.
Yeah.
So you were figuring, okay, what, 20,000, 25,000 died, but luckily a lot of people
there was enough time for people to get out. You're still hearing some bone-chilling videos of people that were in the building calling their loved ones and vice versa. I couldn't imagine being in the top of a building and being on fire and there ain't nowhere to go.
Have you ever been to the museum in New York?
I don't believe so.
9/11?
I didn't go in, but I was outside.
It was that's a very sad. I mean, obviously, it really. There's parts you go in where they have recordings. It's like one of the people who died, their phone, or the 25 messages that were left, and it's nothing but hope you're okay. Please call me when you get this, etc. And it is devastating to listen to. And
no doubt.
And you were saying social media. I was just thinking, how many times did things happen these days where someone's got their cell phone out, boom, take a video of it? Can you imagine if we had that back then? All the people that were inside the building taking videos.
More people would have died.
Yeah,
more people would have died because they'd have stood there and they'd have been sitting there taking a picture of a building coming down at them. Instead of running, okay? Because that should be. It seems like that's the culture of our world now. Instead of running or helping, we're videotaping. Instead of helping somebody drowning, we're videotaping somebody drowning. Instead of helping somebody get eaten by a shark, we're videotaping it so that it can go viral and we can get more followers. And, you know, that's the way it is these days.
Yeah. I had first responder uncles.
Oh, did you?
So this kind of hits a little home to me.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I have a lot of family in New York.
Yeah, and, you know, and it was the weirdest thing because it was one of our biggest losses ever, but it was probably as close as our country's ever been. After that, like our country was, it takes a tragedy for our country to become patriotic, and then just as it dissipates, everybody kind of forgets about it. Then another tragedy comes, and we all come together again. We should just stay together. We should just stay together.
I mean, you think about it, we've had some tragedies the last few years but they don't. Again, the finger pointing is the de facto way to go nowadays. It's just whose fault was it?
It's always got to be. The problem is. And it turned into this. 9/11 turned into it. It's still, people still have these crazy, you know, philosophies, and I don't want to listen to them. Like, I don't want to listen to them because I don't want to believe that. Okay, but now when a kid shoots up a school, it divides our world. It divides our world into gun people and non-gun people, real quick. And it just, our world and our country is just divided now. Any situation that happens, there's left, right, right, wrong, Democrat, Republican, black and white. I mean, everything is turned into completely, and like, I'll give you a great example. The whole Colin Kaepernick thing, when Colin Kaepernick knelt for the anthem, okay? How many things has that turned into?
Yeah.
How many things has it turned into? It's turned into military. It's turned into white and black. It's turned into politics. It's turned into anti-Trump. It's so many things. The guy just knelt. He never brought up any of those things except for racial inequality. And that's the one thing nobody's talking about anymore. They're talking about everything other than what he actually knelt for. And I don't, like, I see grown-ass people that are running our country, and they're not helping anything.
No, not at all.
They're not, and I'm not pointing my finger, just in general, nobody's helping. Because everybody's so caught up in being right and wrong now. For, like, all this bipartisan bull crap ain't never going to happen anymore. Because it's one side, the other side, and there's no way they can sit in the middle and talk anymore. And I don't know if it's always been that way, but it's certain like it's turned into that.
Yeah, I mean, going back to 9/11, I mean, I read the same thing. The people were talking about, no one will ever tear this country apart again. We're always going to be one. And you knew, back in your mind, it was a matter of time at some point. And then to see where we are today, 17 years later, of how, like you said, every issue that comes across, everybody runs to their side as opposed to saying, hey, what's the more appropriate response? There's the truth is always in the middle.
Yeah.
And that's where we should be, but it's always, something happens like the Kaepernick situation, you got to run to one side as opposed to either the people, those of us who are in the middle saying, you know, I agree with his right to do it. Maybe I would kneel myself, but I agree with his right to certainly do it.
And that's where I am.
You know,
that's where I am. And listen, it's an opinion. So you can't have a wrong opinion. Right. You cannot, okay? But the people all the way to the left are the problem. When I mean all the way, I mean all the way. And all the way to the right are the problem. That's the problem, okay? Those are the ones that are bumping heads in Charlottesville, okay? Like, I know what my philosophy is on black and white. I know my philosophy is, but I don't know if I want to go out there and be confrontational among people, you know, in some big old crowd. Like, that's too far one way for me, you know? And it just seems like if we all just congregated in the middle and we could all be hugging, do a little kumbaya thing and be all good. But the people on the outskirts, it seems like those are the ones that are running our world on both sides.
Right, because on those sides, neither one of them believe in a gray area. It's either you have to believe everything they said,
that's well said,
or you don't. And if you don't agree 100% with what they say, then you're the enemy.
And then so and so they slam their hand. So and so said this, therefore it has to be.
Yeah.
I don't want anybody telling me anything. I'm hard-headed, all right? So whatever situation comes up, whether it's a tragedy or a law or whatever it is, I don't care what the Democratic guy said or the Republican guy said. I care what I think. So I'm not going to let anybody tell me what I think. I'm not even from this. I'm from Montreal, Canada. I'm not from this country. So I didn't grow up with an allegiance. So I'm the perfect person, I believe, to speak of this. Because some people have been brainwashed since they were born. to be one way or the other and to think one way or the other. And I think that's part of our problem of our country, is that everybody's brainwashing everybody to think a certain way. And common sense is gone, it seems like. And
you can also blame social media for that.
You know why? You know why I'm not going to blame social media? I'm not going to blame social media because I'm going to blame people. Okay, social media is your friend. You know why? Because I have my phone on me right now. You can pull up every social media post I've ever done, and I've been on it since the beginning. And you won't see one political post, not one. Who gives a crap what I think about politics?
Right.
So social media is...
But that's the middleman.
It's the root of the problem, there's no doubt, but it's the people utilizing social media that are the problem. Not actually social media. Social media is used very well by many, many people. Listen, if Khloe Kardashian could make $10 million in 15 minutes or whatever she's doing on social media, it's not bad. It can be good. But with all the things that people are spreading these days, and the propagandas and the craziness, and it seems like politics is running through social media. Like our president is calling people out through social media. Like, I don't know if that's...
So we didn't have that back then.
We didn't have it. We didn't have it. So that's what I'm
saying. Yeah, you have to, in a way, kind of blame social media because it's bringing it all together.
Sure. But that being said, it's not going to get better. It's only going to get worse. Because the more social media, the more elaborate it gets. But don't go anywhere. We're going to come back. We still have a lot to talk about. IRA, frameworks, Febre, photography, videography, and the whole 9 yards. We'll be back.
This is Work Done, and you're listening to the Real Estate Quarterback Show hosted by my man, Brandon Rhymes.
To get in touch with Brandon, call 813-670-7372. Online at consumerqb.com.
Hi, I'm Jerry from Hot Locks Hair Salon. We are conveniently located at 13414 US Highway 19 in Hudson. I've been a local hairstylist in our community for the last 34 years, 7 of which I was an educator. Our passion is the artistry of hair, and Hot Locks is here to help you achieve your perfect image. You can call us at 727-514-9978.
You're listening to the consumer quarterback, Brandon Rhymes, cutting through your typical media nonsense and offering you a rational and unbiased perspective on current events and life in Tampa Bay. Online at consumerqb.com.
All right, welcome back. This is our last segment, so don't go anywhere. We have Scott Maurer from Advana IRA and Jannete Sawdon from Febre Frameworks. Now, let's get back to some IRA talk, because I think we're scaring Jannete with all this political talk over there. We talked about rollover IRAs. Now, if somebody has a 401k already, all right, Can they open an IRA and have a 401k? Can they do both?
You can. Now, the ability, if it's a 401k that you're active in, like it's you're working for the company contributing, you can still have an IRA and contribute to it, but it can having the 401k can limit the ability for you to take certain deductions for your contributions to the IRA. There are some other limitations, but you can have both. In fact, a lot of our clients, they leave one job and they roll that 401k into an IRA. They start a new job and have a new 401k. Mm-hmm. You can certainly have both and invest both how you wish.
Now, is that something that you suggest, or is that something that is it beneficial for it all to be in one, or beneficial for it to be both?
I think it's better to diversify, because the one thing that happens with a lot of 401ks, when you're with a current employer, when you have a 401k, they give you a list of 15, 20 different investments you can make inside that 401k, but that's it. When you get that money out into an IRA, you can take your IRA and invest it into all kinds of stocks, bonds, or do something like what we do. We help people buy real estate, private notes, mortgages, private stock. There's so much more you can do in an IRA, but when it's in a 401k, a lot of times your options are much more limited.
Very nice. Now let's get to Jannete from Febre Frameworks here, which is still spelt funny. The more I look at it, the funnier it gets, because it could have been Jannete. It could have been Jannete, but I got it right.
Yeah, I could have elongated.
Yes, absolutely. So, Febre Frameworks. How long has Febre Frameworks been around?
2 years.
2 years now. Mm-hmm. If I say to you, what does Febre Frameworks do to put yourself apart from the other companies in your company, in your category? What would you say you guys do different?
I would say our professionalism, certainly, and also our editing. You're never going to get, like we were talking earlier, everyone can be a photographer, mm-hmm. but with those photos, you have to do something with them. With those video clips, you have to do something with them. So our editing process, very secret editing process.
Secret?
Secrets.
I like secrets. So do you have a whole room of editors and a whole room of photographers, or is it just one big old hootenanny? What you got? You got a big old building? So we have an office. Okay. Yeah, we do have an office with a receptionist, a booking specialist, and about 5 editors. Okay. And they do the editing for the photographers out in the field, and there's 10 of them out in the field. They don't have to come to the office for any reason. Well, before you leave, I'm going to give you my business card, because I do a lot of stuff with a lot of different businesses, and we're always looking for photography.
Yeah, give me a call.
And everybody out there is always looking for photography as well. They say some different things. You're talking about food photography, weddings, real estate. There's really no limit. There's no limitation. No limit to the photography. Nope. Wonderful. Everybody needs photography out there all the time. Yeah. And once again, I've seen good photography, and I've seen the best. And there's a big difference in everything. I'm sure knowledge of, you'll see growing up playing football, everything is measurable. You might be strong where you're from, but you might not be strong where I'm from. Just like the same thing in photography. I'm a great photographer. You run into somebody whose photography that they did 10 years ago is better than your photography. So I like running into greatness, and I like running into knowledge. That's always very, very important. Now, yourself, when you talk about IRAs, and I'm not to the point now where money's pouring in. Well, there was a time in my life when it poured in more than it's pouring in now. Okay, is there a maximum contribution you could make to your IRAs yearly?
There is. With a regular basic IRA, the most you can contribute on an annual basis is $5,500.
Regardless how much money you make.
With a traditional, now, if you're self-employed, you work for yourself, you own your own small business, you can put upwards of $54,000 or $55,000 a year into your own. You can start a 401k for yourself. You can start a SEP IRA. So there are some IRA accounts that allow for much larger contributions, but as far as just the basic ones, it's $5,500. Now, that's the maximum you can put in out of pocket. There is no limitation on what you can earn. So within the IRA, so if you have, say, $50,000 in your IRA, you invest in a rental property, you invest in a property to flip, you make $20,000, that's fine back in the IRA account. It's only limit on your money out of your pocket.
So I told you when I was with the Bucks, they started the 401k, and I remember Sam White saying, if anybody doesn't do this, you're stupid. And I remember thinking, well, you are stupid, because we put in $7,000 and they put in $10,000. Okay, so that's a no-brainer. You can put in $7,000, they put in $10,000, and that was way back when. Now, I believe they put in 10, and the NFL puts in 20.
Nice. Yep.
Does any companies do it that drastic twice?
Some do, because when a company sets up a 401k plan, they can decide how much they want to offer their employees. It's an incentive program, obviously, for hiring people. So, and then some companies may do a 5% match. So you put in so much of your salary, they'll match that amount up to 5%. They can do up to 25% of your compensation. So a company can actually. You can put in up to $18,500 of your salary, and a company can match up to about $35,000 or so on top of that. So it just depends. It's company to company on what they want to offer.
Yeah, times are good. I'm too old. I should have waited till now to play ball, and I would have been a lot richer. That's for sure. They're paying these guys an astronomical amounts of money. I ain't mad at them though. If they don't make it, the owners are making it.
That's true.
So I'd rather the players make it. That's for sure. Now, Jannete, as far as the photography goes, with Tampa Bay area, I don't know if there's a more burgeoning, growing area in the nation than Tampa, real estate wise. What are you seeing developing here as far as real estate? Are you seeing a lot new business office buildings? What are you seeing popping up these days?
I'm seeing a lot more condos, townhouses being built, new constructions, definitely, and more rehabs coming in. A lot more rehabs, I think, than new construction, because Tampa's so old. So they're just taking all the South Tampa homes and just flipping them. Sure.
Like even around where I have our headquarters on, Gandy and West Shore area there, but the Gandy boat ramp where they're building all those condos, I don't know the number, but just the amount of people that are going to move in there are going to change the economy of that area.
They're coming up from Miami.
I mean, those condos start at $700,000. And the one that they're building on Bay to Bay, I guess the glass one at the end of Gate of Bay, I guess that's completely sold out. They can't build these condos fast enough these days. It's good for you.
Yeah, it's good. Yeah,
it's more money's coming into town.
It's a little scary though too, because that's what we had when I first started with Nevada. Was back in 2006, and I remember in that 2006-2007 period, that's when they were selling pre-construction contracts. So before the building had even laid a foundation, they were selling out of a building.
Isn't that amazing?
Because people wanted to, at that time, people were going to get a property under contract, put the deposit down, and then flip that contract, figuring it was going to. And then of course the market tanked. And that was the bottom. But I think we're at a little bit different times, but it is a little bit scary now too.
It is scary. I got here in the early 90s, and I dabbled in some real estate on the beach, and I remember a realtor telling me that, I have a great deal. She goes, you have $1 million? I said, no, I don't. I wish I did. She said, if you have $1 million to invest, I have an amazing investment for you. I said, well, you can stop talking. You don't have $1 million, okay? So the next year, my realtor says to me, remember I told you you have $1 million? I go, yeah. She says, I can get you 2.2 for it. And they haven't broken ground yet. So that tells you where the real estate was at that time. But then the people paying 2.2, if the music stops and you're standing, you could give all that money back. Every last bit of it. It's not worth any money. So I get it what you're saying. It can be scary because right now everything's optimistic. It's going up. And people start acting a fool, and banks will start lending everything to everybody, and all of a sudden it's going to stop. Boom. And the music's going to stop, and there's going to be a bunch of people standing up, and they're going to be ass out, unfortunately. Yep. But for somebody like yourself, right now, you guys got to be flourishing. Business has to be great right now.
Oh yeah, definitely. We have 9 photographers in Tampa and 1 in Orlando. Okay. They're all booked every single day, Monday through Friday, even sometimes Saturday. 4 or 5, maybe even 6 appointments a day.
Wow, come on.
Of just homes.
Isn't that crazy?
And shooting. Yeah.
Good for you. It's great that you guys found a niche, which is good. Everybody needs, photographers are great. Okay, there's a lot of photographers out there, but you guys found your niche, although you are kind of going out and venturing. But, real estate is your main thing.
It is.
And how did that come about? The people who originated the whole company, that was their first love is real estate? Or
no, actually. So it was Sean, he was an engineer before he went into photography. He picked it up as a hobby, and he was just doing it for fun, and his brother-in-law asked him to do his homes.
Wow.
So that's how it happened. And it's just getting more business and more business, whereas then the next step was his brother quit his engineering job and followed him. And within 6 months, they had an office and their first 2 employees. Within a year, they had about 7 employees, and we've just been growing.
They're following the money. It's wonderful. Anybody wants to get in contact with you, how do they get that done?
They can reach out to our website at bantaira.com or what'sinyourira.com, or give me a call, 727-581-9853.
Take advantage. And yourself, young lady?
So it's FebreFrameworks.com. I'm going to spell out the first part.
Yep.
F as in Frank, E, B as in boy, R as in Robert, E, FebreFrameworks.com. Phone number is 813-906-8300. And you can check us out on Facebook as well.
Want to go check them out, and you want to check me out on social media, it's at Ian Beckles, IANBECKLES. Everybody have a wonderful day, and please stay out of trouble. Peace out.
You've been listening to the Consumer Quarterback, Brandon Rhymes. Whether it's real estate, consumer, or financial advice, let Brandon call your next play. Contact Brandon Rhymes at 813-670-7372. That's 813-670-7372. Online at consumerqb.com. And join us next time for the Consumer Quarterback Show. Weekday afternoons at 5 on AM 1380. The Biz.
Are you a real estate agent looking to take your business to the next level and supercharge your marketing? Hi, I'm Brandon Rhymes, owner of Platinum MVP Realty and host of the Real Estate Quarterback Show, syndicated radio and TV show talk program on iHeartRadio, 1025 The Bone, daily 5 o'clock drive time on 1380 The Biz, and our TV show is on WeBeam TV. We're looking for real estate agents that want to join our team and supercharge their marketing utilizing some of our innovative strategies. We utilize the Real Geeks platform, Facebook marketing, internet marketing, and a lot of the traditional methods as well. Postcard mailers mailed for you, postage, signage, business cards, all paid for by the company. Aggressive real estate splits and ways to help you win in any marketplace. We need you to go out, take applications, and work our plethora of leads that we're generating on a daily basis. Reach out by clicking the form below, and we'd love to have a confidential interview with you.
My pleasure. How you doing, sir? Nice to finally meet you. Pleasure.
Hi, I'm Jerry from Hot Locks Hair Salon. We are conveniently located at 13414 US Highway 19 in Hudson. I've been a local hairstylist in our community for the last 34 years, 7 of which I was an educator. Our passion is the artistry of hair, and Hot Locks is here to help you achieve your perfect image. You can call us at 727-514-9978.